All
as
right,
long as my
great.
picture's not on there.
Right.
Um,
Namaste, Alexandra. Yeah. So I was
and
asking you,
namaste. Yeah, so I got hit
how are
really
you?
hard. Yeah,
Mm,
I got hit hard. I ended up with cellulitis all through here. I sent you that picture, I think. Had
mm,
to go on an antibiotic, which completely trashed my system. But what happened from the bite, I had a birthmark over here, like or like a mole birthmark kind of thing over here for like, I don't know, as long as I can remember.
mm.
Anyway, that actually turned cancerous
Oh, wow.
because cancer can cure
Mm,
is a virus, a bacteria. It's just your body going rogue. If
mm,
you deal with the underlying etiology,
mm,
then you're gonna be okay. So I'll show you the picture of what
mm,
happened to the side of my face. This is
mm,
unbelievable. Actually, before this happened, I ended up getting meningitis, viral
mm,
meningitis.
mm.
Thankfully, not bacterial, but
Uh,
viral. And that took like I'd say about 5 weeks to overcome pounding headache. Well, okay, I don't need to tell you what
mm,
meningitis is like,
mm,
but it was pretty bad. I really couldn't, I was pretty debilitated. Kept breathing though, okay, just so you
mm,
know, because that
mm,
was like I had to keep I basically this was, if you can see
mm,
this was my regiment right here. You
mm,
can't see
mm.
anything on it.
Not very
Okay.
clearly, no.
Yeah,
Mm,
but that was my weekly routine that I had to
mm,
do to recover. Breathing is an everyday thing that I had to
mm,
do to keep myself oxygenated because once I took the antibiotic, I noticed my
mm,
pulse ox went down. It's crazy.
mm,
Right. It's not good. So
mm,
anyway, at the end of the day, I ended up, this ended up being can cure. I ended up using black salve, so I had a big divot come out of my head. It was crazy what I went through.
wow. Wow.
But because I've been focusing on my health and doing a lot of
Mm,
breath work, like not
mm,
just the techniques you taught me, but also like my
mm.
circular breath work that I do, like a half hour of just circular breath work. I feel
Which
like
is
I got, go
which is
ahead.
also something we've done. Yeah. Yeah. Go on. Mm, mm,
Yeah, yeah.
mm,
And so I felt a lot. I don't know. I just know I do it as a practitioner, the
mm,
circular breath work. I've been doing that for
mm.
years.
Okay.
Um, and so at the end of the day, I ended up, getting, I'm feeling better than pre the bite.
Wow.
But it
Mm.
took me, because I got bit the end of August, took me
We had
like
a, we had a
three full
last
months.
class in September, last week of
Yeah, okay.
September. Mm,
Yeah, and you probably you
mm.
saw that I was overcoming
Yeah,
okay, yeah.
that's right. Yeah. Yeah.
And then I got into meningitis because the Powassan virus
What
usually
what
is in a
virus?
lab.
What virus do you call it?
It's called Powassan, Powassan. And I want your listeners to know
Mm,
that this Powassan virus is on the rise throughout the country.
mm,
And I'm blessed because I
mm,
had a group of holistic doctors who
mm,
understood breath work, who understood like
mm,
over oxygenating the system. So they were
mm,
like having me do hyperbaric chambers and just
mm,
oxygenating constantly
mm,
to overcome everything that I had. In addition to like they put me on antiparasitics and all that kind of
mm,
stuff. Like
mm.
anyway, the end of the day, I'm going in the right direction and I'm excited to start this again so I can, I mean, my next step now, Rajesh, is I want to get rid of the sleep apnea that I have.
Mm,
That did worsen. I mean, I won't lie. It worsened again with this incident. Like I was getting better, 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 and then whoa,
mm,
and
mm,
now I feel like I'm getting more control of my body. And I'm trying to
mm,
find the picture I can show you of what happened to the side of my head, but it's
mm,
unbelievable.
mm.
It really,
Wow.
yeah. Let me see
No
if I can
wonder
find.
we took this 3 month break
I had to do
as
it.
you were recovering, yes. Mm,
I had to do it. First of all, I wasn't able to wake up. Like I wasn't
mm,
able to wake up on time to
mm,
get to this. And
mm,
then I had all this stress of like, and Pascal's been great, but I had all the stress of doing all these things, getting to doctors, getting treatment. And it's not
Mm.
like the doctors here. I got to drive 3 hours, stay
Oh wow.
for
Oh
two
wow.
or 3 days, drive 3 hours. It was just, it was a
Mm.
lot. And so I had to just take care of myself. And that's what I did.
Mm.
And now I feel like not only is this addressing what happened, the Lyme and what happened, but it's addressing
Mm.
any of the other inflammation that I had in the body. I have less mucus.
Mm.
It's definitely
Mm.
working.
Mm. So yeah, mucus is a major problem, as far as the breath and the oxygenation of the body, and of course the prana energy in the body is concerned. So being able to expel the phlegm is definitely one of the earlier things that anyone and everyone should do. Very
I
often
need to do
people
more
do
of that
not.
because I have a feeling that, I didn't mean to interrupt, but wouldn't that be implicated with apnea too? I mean, I don't know, wouldn't it be implicated with apnea too? Because I never had apnea until I had COVID.
Mm. So
And
you
that's
need,
where I noticed I got phlegmy.
That's right. See,
Okay, but
phlegmy, part of the reason, of course, is all the pollution, etc. Though you are probably in a part of US where pollution is not so bad. But
mm,
our lifestyle and the food and the habits and everything, they impact, the way the body functions. Also, phlegm is something that affects most of the people. It's just that most people are not aware of how bad the phlegm is, and it collects throughout the pranamaya kosh. And I'm not just talking about the respiratory system, where of course it is active and you can feel the effects. But when it also starts clogging up the pranamaya kosh, the movement of energy is interrupted or disturbed. Movement of energy is disturbed. That means, parts of the body, especially, the further parts of the body, which also need the goodness of this energy, the prana shakti, they don't get it. Now,
yeah.
unfortunately, because people are not seeing evidence of phlegm, in the sense, it's not like they're seeing it come out every day, etc. People take it for granted. But phlegm is a major problem. You've done whatever breathwork techniques you've learned how to expel the phlegm, but that was only one part of it. You've done various other things to ensure that, for example, the lotus opening, to ensure that the energy flows better. And then the vacuum breathing technique, which helps pull out the phlegm so effectively from your system. But anyway,
Took me a while to be able to do that. I couldn't take in the breath
mm,
enough to do that when I had the meningitis. It
yeah,
was
and the
really hard.
reason is because your sushumna nadi gets very badly blocked.
Yeah.
you know eh, all these diseases, all these different conditions, they impact us in so many different ways. Now, unless we are observing very clearly, very very closely, when something starts affecting us, how it is affecting, for example, our breathing, the movement of energy through the sushumna. See, remember, sushumna is part of your central nervous system. Le- Keeping that sushumna cleared and cleansed is very, very important. Because if your central nervous system is in any way sabotaged or not working well or not getting the energy that is required, then naturally it'll start impacting how the central nervous system works, and that will impact all the other parts of the body as well. You're lucky that you had this, and of course, whatever other techniques you've been doing, I'm sure the hyperbaric oxygen also
Yeah.
must have helped. But I'm glad you've come out of it and you're doing well.
Thank
You're
you.
looking quite good. You're looking quite good. So that's nice. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
You know.
I feel a lot better. I'm not 100%, but I definitely feel
Mm,
a lot better. And I do think I have just a lot more phlegm that has to come for sure.
mm,
And I have to be honest with you, I forgot about doing the vacuum breath. I was
mm,
doing a lot of the lotus opening and I was paying attention to all my
mm,
channels and I was
mm,
but I don't know why I forgot. I mean,
mm,
I gotta be honest, I completely forgot to do
mm,
that. And but I'm gonna start that up again. Yeah,
mm.
my mind wasn't 100%. You can imagine where
No,
I
I can
was at.
absolutely.
Yeah. But anyway, it's so nice to see you again, Rajesh,
Good
and
to
I'm
see you
happy
as
to be
well.
back.
That's wonderful. So, before we end the recording, any word for viewers on how breath work, or especially the Swa-Tantra Kriya, can be useful in their lives. Anything you'd like to
Well, I
share?
mean, breath is life, right? Without breath, you're dead. And
True.
I think it just, you know, during this time period, I was so stressed and not well that it was probably the only thing that kept my nervous system from collapsing. I actually held it together extremely well, and I wasn't holding stress. That was really clear for me. And so I would say, at least in this time period, it sustained me to not get into fight or flight, which would have made my
Mm,
recovery a lot worse. So,
absolutely.
and I would catch myself like not really breathing deep enough, and I would go and I would just, you know, I would go in and do the breath again, even if it was for 5, 10 minutes, just to get my breath back online.
Mm,
So. Yeah, I would say like most helpful for me at that time was to keep my nervous
mm,
system
mm,
intact so I wasn't
mm,
you know, so I could stay in the parasympathetic and not
mm,
the sympathetic.
yeah.
Um and I, you know, I will tell you, I
Mm,
had Lyme disease before in
mm,
2013, and I think I was clearly in sympathetic the whole time, which made it harder to
mm,
recover.
mm.
So,
That's right. Yeah.
yeah.
So as you're aware, in the sympathetic nervous system, our vascular system is also very badly affected. The vascular system tends to constrict, which means the flows in the body, even the lymphatic system, etc., functions less effectively or less efficiently. So when you are in the parasympathetic nervous system and you've used the various techniques, for example, the lotus opening, etc., you are keeping your vascular system a little more relaxed, a little more dilated, which helps the flows to work better,
Mm.
and that helps immensely with the recovery. And uh, the next part of the program, in fact, goes much deeper into that with techniques that will probably wow you, because you notice how your breath is affecting you. So you will understand how the next part of the program is going to be, in terms of the effects on you.
You
Which
know, I have to ask a question because I really believe like this you know, this inflammation in this like amount of mucus in the physical body. I'm really wondering, and in this next phase, I really want to pay attention to it and probably monitor myself. Like I said, I this next phase, I want to overcome this apnea. That's
Mm,
like front and center for me. And I'm just wondering like how much of that is because of mucus, because of this,
mm,
like because as you say, the energy isn't flowing,
mm,
like your you know, your prana is just getting
mm,
stuck.
mm,
So that's gonna be my goal here. This is
mm,
I have a goal, I have a
mm.
mission, and I
So
want to really clear that all out.
yeah.
So
So as
because
you
I
know,
depend on that.
yeah.
Go ahead.
So as you know, the techniques that I teach are based on whatever I've done on myself, observed clearly, and seen the results, and based on that, I take one ahead. But also,
Yeah.
before we stop the program or before we discontinue the program in September, your sleep apnea issues were actually coming on track. You were already sleeping much better. And then, of course,
Yeah, it
all
was
this,
on its way.
yeah, on
Hmm.
its way. And then all this happened and then just kind of set you back again. But yes,
Yeah.
we'll get you back on track. Flow of energy and the vascular system are central. And you'll see why. As I teach you, nowadays there's a lot of talk about fascia.
Hmm.
Have you noticed?
Yeah.
Now, in many ways, the fascia is a very integral part of your pranamaya kosh. But as we grow older, because one of the things that happens as we grow older is the amount of nitric oxide in our system, or the way the system produces nitric oxide naturally, begins to drop. Nitric oxide, among the various other things that it does, is it is that it helps to vasodilate. It helps to dilate the vascular system. When it helps to dilate the vascular system, naturally energy and of course everything else, the nutrients, the systems work much better, which is what helps the body to recover and function at an optimum level. But because the nitric oxide production begins to dip, the vascular system is affected. And old age, in my understanding, I'm seeing a very big correlation between old age and the issues connected with old or age being very deeply correlated with the vascular system challenges. The vascular system begins to function less efficiently, and therefore age begins to have a bigger impact on our system, on our bodies, and
Well,
so
I
on.
don't want that.
No, of course, and
I want to
I'll
have
show you,
my best.
and I'll
I
show
mean,
you, I'll show you techniques.
it is true. It's definitely true that your heart is the like that is the whole center of well-being, and I get that. So, and I all the reading I've done too, and the doctors I work with say like strong vascular system leads to strong heart, leads to that, longevity.
Yeah.
That's, their
So,
perspective.
so the term cardiovascular is, it's already including the term vascular in there,
Yeah,
cardiovascular. But
yeah,
that's not where it ends. It's not just the heart. Every
yeah.
part of
It's
your
yeah.
body is connected through the vascular system.
Hmm.
And
Right.
when the vascular system is healthy, it will ensure that the organs get what they want, what they need, and they will be able to expel the toxins, the poisons, and the waste matter much more effectively. And that's what health basically is.
Yeah.
So I think I'll stop the recording and continue with whatever we will do
Okay, let's
now.
go.
Thank you. Thank you. Namaste.